All right, this video is about focus and directrix of a parabola. This is the formula you need to memorize. H and K represent the vertex. Because this is a plus sign, whatever the y value of the vertex will be the same thing, goes right there. Because this one is a minus sign, whatever the x value is of the vertex will get flipped to be the opposite. And then P represents one of the distances on a graph paper, and I'll show you that too. 35 says, determine an equation for the parabola with a focus of -2, 4 and a directrix of 10. Now I'm just gonna eyeball this. 10 is pretty high, so I'm gonna leave myself some space. All right, I'm gonna do it a little low. All right. -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna write F, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe I should use a different color. So focus, directrix. The vertex is between the two. So you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3. And you found the vertex. In doing that, you also found P. P is the 3 that we just counted. Or here. Either way, P is 3. Your parabola opens toward the focus. So you're going to draw it off of the vertex, but it's going to open towards the focus like this. Okay, so this one is the only reason why you care about that is because you want to know if it points up or down. This one points down. So we've got a vertex at -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -2, 7. We have a p-value of 3, and we know that it opens down. Those are all the things we need to know, and now we can write the equation. So we're going to write y equals. The plus or minus is talking about opening up or down. Since this one is opening down, we're going to put a negative. 1 over 4p, 1 over 4 times 3, which is 12, -1 over 12, and then x minus h, so I'm doing x minus -2. Minus negative is going to make a plus, so I'm going to do +2 squared, and then plus k, so that's +7. So these numbers are going here and here, but this one is the opposite. This is the better version because it's simplified, but honestly, it doesn't say that you need to simplify it. All right, for the other ones, I put some graph paper here. For the Regents, you're just gonna have to grab the graph paper that they give you. So 16 says, what is the focus of the parabola? And that gives you this 8y. Okay, so we're going to have to solve this for y. So first we're going to divide by 8. I know that seems counterintuitive, but I promise that when we did it before in this year, you guys all liked this method better. So why do we want to do that? It's because of this fraction that's built into the front. This has a 1 in the front, so I'm going to do 1/8 and then x plus 5 squared. To get y by itself, I've got to subtract 2, so I'll do a y equals 1/8 x plus 5 squared minus 2. And I want to know the focus. So I've got my graph paper. And let's plot the things that this tells me. So it tells me that the vertex is the opposite of this, so -5. And this one stays the same, -2. -5, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. There it is. All right. And it also tells me that the bottom of the fraction is 8. If the bottom of the fraction is 8, then this is usually supposed to be 4 times p. So 4 times 2 gives you 8. So that means that p has to be 2. And this is positive, so it opens up. So it's supposed to be opening up like this. I don't know how wide. And I want to know the focus. It always opens towards the focus. So the focus is going to be inside this part of the parabola. Specifically, it's going to be 2 up, which is going to put us here, -5, 0. If you went 2 down, that would be giving you where the directrix should be. All right, 23 says the parabola with this equation has, and it gives you all these options. All right, first thing we want to do is solve it. We're going to divide by 12, and we're going to have y plus 1 equals 1/12 x minus 4 squared. To get y by itself, we're going to do 1/12 x minus 4 squared, and then minus 1. So the vertex is at +4, -1. No. Focus, directrix, and 4 units. All right, let's see what we can figure out without doing much work. A focus is at 4, -1. No, that's where the vertex is. So that's out. 4 units between the focus and vertex, or a directrix at -4. So right here, this is telling us how many units there are between the focus and the vertex. And it's coming from 4p. So 4 times something gives us 12. And that number would be 3. So there's actually only 3 units. So it has to be option 3. All right, number 9 says the equation of a parabola that has its focus at the point -3, 2 and the directrix at y equals 0 is, okay, so I'm going to actually graph this one. -3, 2, that is the focus, and then y equals 0. Y equals 0 is the x-axis. All right. So the vertex is between the focus and the directrix. So that would have to be here. So the vertex is at -3, 1, which means when you see it in your formula, it's going to be +3 and then +1. We're going to see positive, positive. So 2 and 4 are out. Now, since it opens towards the focus, we know it's going to be pointing up, but they're both positive. The distance, the p-value is 1. So 1/4p is 1/4 times 1, so it's got to be 1. On the next page, number 30 says, consider the parabola given by this equation with a vertex of -2, 7 and a focus of -2, 8. Use this information to explain how to determine the equation of the directrix. So I put some graph paper down here. Again, even if it's short answer, you can draw your own graph. Your scrap graph paper won't be graded. So if you do want a graph graded, then you're gonna have to draw it on here. All right, this format isn't exactly like what I wanna see, but these two things are fine. So let's just do it and then we can explain it later. So -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the vertex, and then the focus is -2, 8. So it's going to open up. So there's only one unit in between. So Directrix has to be down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y equals 6. All right, we didn't even really need this equation. But determine how to use this information to explain how to determine the equation of the directrix. So we can plot the vertex and focus. Count the distance between them. And then use that same distance to count below the vertex. This is the location of the directrix. All right, this one says, if the focus of a parabola is 0, 6 and the directrix is 4, what is an equation for the parabola? So let's look at this. I'm going to use one of these graph papers. Zero, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the focus. And the directrix is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I know that this opens up. I know that the vertex is right here. Is at 0, 5. All right, just jotted down the equation. So I'm going to be plugging in a 0 here. So I'm going to call it 1 over, so P, this distance is 1. So I'm going to do 1/4 x minus h, so x minus 0, that'll just be x, so x squared, and then plus 5. Now none of these are like written in the exact same format, like things have been like moved around and we would have to solve, but there's enough information for me to like not have to do all of that. In this one, the x is being squared, so it's not 1 or 3 because those ones have the y being squared. And in this one, the coefficient is 1/4. So I want a coefficient, I know this is not right, I could divide by 4 and then I would have a 1/4. So I want option 2 to create that 1/4. All right, which equation represents a parabola with a focus of 4, -3, and a directrix of y equals 1? Four, 1, 2, 3, and a directrix of 1. All right, so right away, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can put the vertex right here, and I know that it opens down because it has to open towards the focus. So I'm looking for an answer that's negative. The P distance is 2, so y equals 1 over 4 times 2. It's going to give me 8, so we'll go y equals -1/8. My vertex is at 4, -1. All right, I can figure out this answer without doing the whole thing, but I'll do a little bit more. So I would plug this in, x, and then the opposite of this, so minus 4 squared, and then that will stay the same. So I'm looking for an answer that has an x minus 4 in parentheses. So it's got to be option 4. I could have figured out this without this, because if I know the vertex is what's going into the final answer, like I need a 4 and a 1 in some capacity. The reason why you see a minus here and a plus there, like everything is opposite, is because this just hasn't been solved for y yet. All right, that's focus and directrix.